Welcome back to part number 3 and the finale of What If Darth Vader Found Luke on Tatooine. Thank you to those of you who have watched any of the other parts. If you have not seen any of those videos or are not subscribed, make sure you do those first before watching this video. Yoda looked at Obi-Wan and then to the trees above him. The former Grandmaster did not consider Obi-Wan to have failed, but perhaps this was the Force telling them that the Jedi had lost. Yoda and Obi-Wan refused to let their precious order that had been nurtured over generations to fall so easily, and decide that Leia must be trained in the light side of the Force. An X-Wing starfighter soon landed next to Obi-Wan's ship, and Leia was willing to learn the Jedi arts to save Luke, even if she had only heard of him for a short time. Yoda and Obi-Wan used all of their years of Jedi knowledge and skill to train the powerful Leia, who is the disciplined and patient student that Yoda wished to train. And although they knew that Luke would be growing powerful, they were sure that Leia would be a worthy adversary. Soon, however, reality set in, as those on Dagobah received reports from the rebellion that the Empire had completed the construction of the mighty superweapon called the Death Star, capable of destroying planets with a single blast. For the first time in her training, Leia is terrified for the life of her adopted father Bail Organa, and with Obi-Wan and Yoda, they depart the safe swamplands and enter the hunters that were the Empire. The trio reach a safe rebel base, and along with the rest of the rebel alliance, they plan to take out the Death Star. But without the plans of the interior of the space station, it would be a struggle. The normally trustworthy droids of R2-D2 and C-3PO had not been detected by the rebellion, and they were worried they had fallen into the hands of the Empire. Nonetheless, with the Jedi, the rebellion stood a small chance of success and deploy all of their resources for the battle ahead. A squadron of X-Wing starfighters begins the first assault against the Imperial fleet, but this was actually a distraction for the main rebel attack. A group of star cruisers led by Admiral Akbar hovered into view, and the Empire were taken slightly by surprise, but they had superior firepower. Whilst the Star Destroyers prepared their ion cannons, Obi-Wan, Leia and Yoda sneaked through the Imperial blockade and board the Death Star. Soon they are met by resistance, as the hangar they had chosen was loaded with Imperial troopers. In a combination of green and blue blurs, the Jedi scythed their way through the Stormtroopers and Death Troopers and confidently marched through the corridors until they were stopped by a cold sensation running through them. The darkness here was stronger than ever before, and the grip on their lightsabers tightened as they walked inside. The entrance to the room is protected by 2 royal guards, and after Yoda dismisses them with ease, they see Vader bowing down to the Emperor. Very quickly, force lightning emitted from his fingertips, and Vader is sent to the bottom of a flight of stairs after his master had sensed his betrayal. Now turning to the Jedi, Palpatine cackled at their attempt to bring him to justice, and he tried his lightning attack once more. The Jedi were prepared and defended with their blades, slowly creeping towards the Sith Lord, who ignited his own blades. Obi-Wan is soon struck down, as his aging defences finally gave way, and Vader could not help but feel satisfied at his demise. Palpatine began to grow stronger with each passing moment, and Leia was knocked to a wall by a Force attack. From the ground, Vader felt a surge of anger through him, as he now knew what Luke had been hiding from him, and staggering to his feet, he was now supported by Luke, who had just arrived from a mission. Together, the two Sith saw Yoda cast off to one side, then attacked the Emperor for one final time. The Sith Lord felt invincible, blocking the attacks of Vader, and attempted to fry the fragile control panel of his suit before being stopped by Luke. The apprentice of Vader was soon becoming the most powerful of them all, and he used his hate for the Emperor and the Jedi to pin Sidious to his chair. Sidious laughed again, as whatever happened, the Jedi had fallen, and Luke slashed his lightsaber through the Sith Lord's chest. Leaving the fate of the Jedi to the elements, the Sith calmly left the room and watched from the bridge of the Death Star as the rebel ships began to drop out of the sky one by one. Vader was pleased with the work of his crew, and with Luke entered respective shuttles to examine their work. Vader's years of pain and suffering had been worth it, as Palpatine and the Jedi had fallen, and now he and Luke could rule the galaxy as father and son. That is it for What If Darth Vader Found Luke on Tatooine. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.